Nisha, welcome to our office.
Thank you.
You are a Canadian citizen.
Yes.
And you was working in Canada for more than 6-7 years.
Definitely 10 years.
10 years, right? Now I'm having so many clients, they are getting visa for Canada and they are landing in Canada also, and you have actually worked in Canada. So I would like to ask you some questions.
Sure.
Okay. Basically now when you landed in Canada that time, you are now you are working into HR field, na?
Yes.
HR. So how was your journey?
My journey, when we landed, I immediately got into HR school. So my HR schooling is not from India, it's from Canada.
Right.
My background here was from Symbiosis. And when I went there, I immediately got into HR school simply because I didn't want to waste time looking for a job and then getting into school in the next academic year.
It was a good strategy. You have gone for a certification. If you are doing a Canadian certification, it becomes easier to get a job.
I will definitely agree with you on that, because I've seen people who've gone that route and I've seen people who've not gone on that route, and it's been definitely easier, relatively easier, I would say. I wouldn't say it's a rosy walk, but relatively easier when you have that certification and you step out into the workforce.
Right. Now after certification, how many days it took to get a good job?
So I finished my certification in June of 05, and it took me approximately about 6 months to find my first full-time job. I was in an internship.
So you mean to say almost for more than 6 months you were doing some kind of an odd jobs? You can call it as survival jobs?
I won't say odd jobs, but definitely survival, because of the fact that it was an internship and long hours. Internship comes with relatively less pay and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So how much money you used to require to have just to make your ends meet without taking any support from parents or something like that? Minimum amount. Of course, it is a seasonal thing. In different seasons, the amount may differ, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. The minimum amount, it depends upon the lifestyle. At that point, I was very far from having a lavish lifestyle, of course. But for a basic lifestyle, I would say I would have required
per month.
Per month. I was
See,
minimum $2,000.
My feedback is around between 1,000 to 1,500. Just to bare necessity.
Yes, bare necessities. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah. Means if you are earning that much, you will not be touching whatever money you will be taking with you. But you should be prepared to do odd jobs, and most importantly, you should not have attitude problems.
True, that's very true. Yes. Yes, definitely.
Right. Then, what is the very striking things, very pleasing thing about life in Canada, particularly work life?
Work life. The one thing is that as I went along, I progressed from one position to the other, increasing responsibilities, promotions and all of that. But the one thing is that even though you might be at a responsible position, could be, a lead, a manager, or could be anything else, whatever you want to, the work-life balance, whatever it is, your work ends at 5. That is the one big thing, so that you can then go on with the rest of your life. If you have a gym that you go to, or if you have any other extracurricular class and all of that, you can do that and yet be home by 7:30 or so, in time to prepare dinner and have dinner on the table by 8:30, which is, in terms of the time taken in the day, that is definitely early in my standards. I used to be able to do that.
Right. The work-life balance was excellent.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you was working alone. Now, for a woman, particularly when she is from India, her parents, her family members, always apprehensive when she is going alone to some strange land.
Of course.
Isn't it?
Of course.
So what is your experience in Canada as a working woman? Compare with India. That is
compared with India. Oh boy. You don't feel unsafe going anywhere, regardless of what time it is. Of course, going, you have everything available at your fingertips, be it a cab service, be it the cops, be it anything else. You have everything at your fingertips at the drop of a button,
Right.
that you're able to call for help if you need it. And believe you me, all these help services come in a record, I'd say 5 minutes.
Right.
You know, a simple call to 911 if you're in trouble, and within 5 minutes they're at the location where you are. That is definitely one thing. So you never, wherever you're going out alone or whatever, you don't feel that, oh, I should get back by 12 o'clock like we do here. You know,
Right.
That's definitely not the case.
And now you are working into multicultural this thing. There are people from more than 100 countries.
Yes.
Isn't it? How you find the interview? Because see here, we are having some stereotype notions about, say, Pakistanis, say, Nepalis. Stereotype. They'll be like this, they'll be like this.
True.
Isn't it?
True.
What is your experience? Because you have worked for more than, interacted with more than people from 100 countries.
Yes.
So how you find? They are again humans?
They're again humans, they're just like us.
Right.
You know, the same, I mean, talking from an Indian perspective, we went to Canada to realize a dream.
Right.
Right? We wanted to have a better life, we wanted to have a better work-life balance and all of that. They are people like us who have come there for the same reason. You don't necessarily, have that, bias against them that we do here. That, oh, it's a Pakistani or an Afghani, you need to stay away from them. In fact, my very first job, my boss was an African American. My colleague was an Afghani refugee.
Okay.
I had a Canadian colleague and I had a Spanish colleague. My very first jobs. I've been used to interacting with them since 2005. So they're just like us. They've come there to achieve the same goals, and we all. In fact, there is a little bit of a kinship, if you will, that we've been there. Where I am right now, somebody would have been there a few years ago, or somebody will be there in the future when I would have progressed few years ago. So it's all, I mean, they're just like us. That is my bottom line.
That is really great. Have you ever faced discrimination because you are an Indian or because you are a female? Never.
I have seen examples of that, but I personally have never faced it.
Never. No. Good. Now see, people here, whenever they think about Canada, they are extremely worried about the cold weather.
I love the cold. I don't like the heat.
So my point is, I have visited Canada in December also, in February also. I experienced minus 40-degree temperature also. But now you stayed there for a long period.
Yes.
So how will you find the notorious Canadian winter?
First and for all, the first thing that you need to realize is that your body adapts.
Yes.
Of course, because you've never been there, because you've never experienced that cold, the fear of the unknown is definitely there, but your body definitely adapts to it. Of course, there are days when no matter how many layers you put on, you're going to feel cold to your bone, but your body tends to adapt. So it does not, you need not fear it so much. Simply, I just find that people fear it because they've never experienced that. Once you experience it one winter, you come out of it.
Yes.
And then one winter you've been there, any other winter
So I
will become
experienced there
manageable.
was a minus 40-degree temperature in Toronto,
2013.
and everything was sunny, absolutely sunny, and temperature is minus 40, and all the business is going on.
Absolutely.
So
I've seen that as well.
Right. So it is, and everything is shelter. Your workplace is shelter, your car is shelter, your home is shelter. So there is nothing to be frightened. If there is a very bad day, raining and then these winds, heavy winds, then it is a problematic thing. But otherwise, one can definitely survive and one can enjoy also.
Yes, those who enjoy the cold weather, like me, you can definitely enjoy. And plus, it's just that small bit from your garage into your car, for example. If your car is parked outside your garage or something like that, just that brief 30 seconds, and then from the car park into it. But everything is covered, and there are ways to keep, there are ways to keep your car warm. You start your car, wait till it gets warm, then you get inside the car.
Right.
There are ways to do that. If you're taking public transit, see, I never drove in Canada. So I always took public transit. So from my home until the bus came, yes, there was a little bit of cold, but then when you're layered up, it doesn't feel that bad.
Well, my last question. Now see, you already experienced Canada, and now you are a citizen, more than 8 years you stayed there. For new migrants, what will be your message? What to
My
expect,
message.
what not to expect?
To expect is little bit of a struggle, definitely. No matter how flawless your resume is back here in India or any other migrant from any other country, no matter how influential a position you've been in your home country, expect a little bit of a struggle, because that's just the way the system works. I mean, no matter, of course, Canada has opened its arms for migrants to come there, have a good life, but then you're going to encounter this in your interview process, in finding your first job, or in any little thing that until people don't know what you are capable of, they are going to have reservations. We also have reservations about an unknown person because you don't know what they're bringing to the table. So definitely expect a little bit of a struggle. But once that is done.
Right. And the other part of this thing, what not to expect. Now, particularly, I am underlining this thing. Indians are used to play with rules and regulations.
Yes.
That's why I'm again underlining this thing.
Right.
So you should not be expecting that kind of this thing.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
You just cannot do that. Yeah. Yahan pe there are a lot of loopholes that you can circumvent in order to achieve what you want to achieve. But there are no loopholes. Everything is tied down to that one social insurance number, and no matter what you do, be it violating traffic rules or drunken driving, or could be any other rules that you're violating, everything is going to tie back to you, and you're going to be in supreme amount of trouble with the law.
And the fines are heavy.
Oh, super heavy.
Super heavy.
Super heavy. I wouldn't even want to go that far in terms of talking about what fines there are. Obviously, I've never gotten into trouble myself because I'm always a very cautious person.
But that is a message one must give to the new migrants that behave there. Otherwise, you'll land in bigger trouble.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Definitely.
Thank you, Nisha, coming to our office and sharing your experience with you.
I'm happy to help.
You are helped, and you will be definitely returning back to Canada very soon. From my company, Taurus Infotech, I am wishing you all the best. And as and when I'll be in Toronto, we'll be definitely have a cup of coffee.
Definitely. That one is on us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.